Welcome to the Real Triathlon Podcast. I'm your host, Garrick Lowen, here with Nicholas Chase and Jackson Laundry. Welcome back to the Real Triathlon Podcast. It is our second episode of 2025. We are energetic. We're excited. We are pumped to do this year because we have a special announcement. We are introducing a new host, a new co-host to the Real Triathlon Podcast. Drum roll, please. I'll put it in there after. Don't worry.
It's for real.
Lisa Becharas.
And the crowd roars.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to say thanks for finally giving in and allowing me to be a somewhat more prominent member of the podcast. It's my dream come true.
Yeah, I haven't seen Garrick get this excited since the Leafs almost beat a few teams in a row.
Whoa, the Leafs are on a 5-game winning streak right now, so I'm pretty pumped.
Also, why he's pumped.
Are they? I know it's their mascot is the Leaf, right? As well as their name.
Well, that's their name. Their mascot is like a polar bear.
Yeah,
Their mascot is a Leaf.
makes
That's
sense.
another thing.
Lisa.
Yeah. But Lisa, so Lisa has been a member of RTS for, is this year 3?
This
Or
is year 4.
It
No,
is
3?
3.
No,
We've barely been around for
I think this is
5-ish
the
years.
4th year.
Wow,
Yeah, I came in 2021, 2022, 23, no, 2022, 2023, 24, and this is 2025.
But we
This is
just
year
started.
4.
We
Just
just
started.
We're still you've been part of us for 3 years.
Yes, yeah. The year entering year 4.
We are missing Jackson. He's in Orlando I didn't know he was going to Florida. Did you, Garrick?
Yeah, he had mentioned it in passing when I was down there during Christmas. But he's only down there for a couple days. He's just with his dad, and they always go down there. They have timeshare down there.
I bet
Yeah,
he's getting a vacation in.
Probably. At which I was actually texting Brian Laundrie the other day, trying to convince him to come to Cozumel camp. But
God,
he
he's
wasn't
such a
biting.
gem. I love Brian Laundrie.
Oh, do you know he's the guy that he wishes me happy birthday. He texts me like before and after every single race. It's like he's the
Yeah.
triathlon dad of all triathlon dads that there ever were. It's Brian Laundrie. If you have the
Oh, I know.
opportunity to meet him, take it.
Jackson
Yeah.
and him do not look alike at all.
It's so funny because when they stand next to each other, they both have like the smallest little waist I've ever seen.
He had no hips.
No,
That's Laundrie's.
No. But if you want to know where Jack gets his biking from, it's Brian. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they, like the man doesn't bike for months on end and then comes to camp and just rides with all the professionals as long as the professionals are going.
Yeah.
Remind me what your dog's name is.
The dog's name is Coda.
Coda.
And there's the squeaker in this toy is like so I always break them, but this one has a little bit of squeak left in his avocado. You could probably hear it.
I can't believe you're like, buy that toy and take away its soul immediately. No squeak, no noise. I don't want to be woken up.
My wife subscribes to BarkBox for my dog.
Oh,
So
that's
we get toys. We get
amazing.
one toy every month.
That's not bad. One
yeah.
$30 toy.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
So today, this episode, what you're getting yourselves into as a listener, we are jumping straight into a little bit of a format update for the show. We're trying to keep you on your toes, us on our toes. But as Lisa is the host of honor, and this is the only time you get to do this, Lisa, so you better make it count. You get to kind of narrate the theme for today on your, what did you call them? What is the name of this segment?
The name of this segment is the Clickbait Takes, where we're bringing you the hottest takes that we have. We're throwing all of our opinions out there, and we're going to let you smash them to the ground when you tell us we're wrong.
No, you can't be wrong if it's just speculation and opinions.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Never
you
wrong.
can be wrong. But the
Yeah.
whole point of this is that, there's three or four of us on the podcast. Someone's going to have a take, someone's going to bring it, and we're going to give you our opinions on it. So someone's going to say something like I might say WD-40 is better for your chain than waxing it. And Lisa's
Read
going to
that.
look at me and be like, no, you're an effing idiot. Why would you say that? That is the dumbest thing ever.
Colin Chartier
And
told me that.
Oh man.
Um, I want to start with a quick hot take that Sam Laidlow post with him joining High Rocks. I don't why. I mean, does he not like High Rocks? Is he talking shit about Skipper and Keenlay and anyone else doing High Rocks? What's up?
I well, I actually don't know what High Rocks consists of. Like, is it a world where an endurance athlete would excel? I think of it more as like a CrossFitty thing. So
But
like,
more cardio based.
okay, so you're like running or doing rowing.
Pulling weights and transporting weights. It's more like weight plus movement where like stockier athletes, like I'd probably have a good chance at doing okay there because I used to play rugby apparently by everyone's standard.
yeah, it's like you run either a K or a mile, and then you do like those skier um
Like the pole
pulls.
Pole.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to run a K or a mile again. I don't know the exact order, but then you have to do like what are they, farmer carries, and then you run a K
Sled
or
pushes maybe.
a mile again, and then yeah, you have to do the sled pushes and then the pull, and then you have to do a segment of burpees, and then you have to, between everything you're running like a K. It takes like an hour if you're fast.
That's
I
a
f
lot.
That is a lot, but I feel like that's why don't they just go do Spartan races? Like they have to, those things are long.
Well, these are indoors.
Yeah, these are indoors.
I know,
It's
but
a little
we
different.
like our profession is like mostly outside, you
Yeah,
know?
but it's just different. It's a different sport. That's like
Not
saying
triathlon rocks. It's high
Yeah.
rocks.
that's like that's like someone saying like, why are you doing Xterra when you can just do an Ironman?
Or like, why are you playing hockey on this lake? Why don't you go in a stadium?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see the pull to, like I don't think it's that much different than like a Spartan race or the obstacle course race or like
Yeah,
I don't know what
I
the
think
other
it's
ones are
along those
called.
lines.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like the indoor triathlon version of Spartan.
Yeah. 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 Or
Yeah,
like just do it
Spartan.
outside.
Spartan still seems harder.
Right, because you have to, I don't know. And you get like dirty. I think that's like, and people like wear no clothes. But
And
also the what I've seen in High Rocks, people also no don't wear many clothes. So maybe that's like the draw for triathletes. We like to be mostly naked for majority of our lives, and like in High Rocks, you're kind of naked. So like maybe that's the like let me go show off my bod while I
well, hot
ease
take number
weights
two.
over.
Hot take number two. Did we even answer hot take number one? Not really. We just talked about high rocks. I think that's it.
It's clickbait though. This is not a hot take. This is a clickbait.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Clickbait takes.
Clickbait take. So the other one would be what do you wear in a public sauna in the USA? I prefer Speedo because guess what? I don't want sticky board shorts on my legs and body the whole time. And most guys roll those things up to their high quad anyways. Like just wear a Speedo.
Yeah, I go Speedo. My gym, you have to wear something. You can't just be a towel because the sauna is like in the pool area.
So it's
Yeah.
co-ed.
Um, yeah, but
Yeah. I'm speaking
some
co-ed also.
yeah, some guys go in there like fully dressed, and like some women go in there fully dressed and they never sweat. And they're like I try to stay in for like 20 minutes, and they're in there for as long as I am, and they just never sweat. And I'm like, what the heck?
That's
How does that happen?
That's bad though. Isn't that a bad like physiological like adaptation? Like I go in there and I'm like, I better be the first one sweating. And I leave like in buckets. So I'm like, yeah, I'm amazing. But I think that's a physiological adaptation. Like the
Yeah, you
more
become a better sweater and you actually sweat more once you're like more heat adapted, but you sweat less of your minerals out.
uh, maybe they're lacking minerals
I don't
and
know.
heat adaptation. But
So
also
yeah, Speedos are
I
good though.
Speedos are totally fine. There was back when rally sport in Boulder was a thing before they knocked it down. They had saunas specifically, like there were no co-ed. They were in the locker rooms and like there were all sorts of naked ladies just like sprawled out in the sauna. And I would just go and sit there in my like one piece swimsuit and just like try to
Yeah.
sweat in my corner alone.
Our honeymoon was on a Norwegian cruise, and in the spa they have like it's just this one area and it's just saunas. There were five different types of saunas plus a ice room or a snow room, whatever they called it, and it was just full of naked people.
And it's usually not like good naked people.
Oh no, it's never good naked people.
I don't know.
Yes.
Just pointing that out based off of visual liking to look at things.
Well, I was on
So,
my honeymoon, so the only good naked person was my wife.
but I
Did
guess
you guys go naked?
No, not in the sauna.
Oh,
I couldn't do it. No,
I
she
think I
definitely would not
probably,
do it.
I mean, even for any opportunity, like even in Finland, like those guys and gals go naked, but like, I just don't know. Like the male situation, I think it always deserves like a little cover up because it's not like you don't really want to look at that. Just like you want to like keep your eyes up. You're like, I don't even want to look. I don't hope he doesn't move or adjust and I get a glimpse of that warlock down there. I want to keep it like tucked away. Girls they're tucked away no matter what. There's like not a lot that you can really get away with.
I don't know. I think a sauna is meant to be done butt naked, but in terms of just like being, comfortable in public environments, I don't want to be that guy.
yeah,
No.
yeah. Nah,
Don't do it.
not my public nudity hasn't. I
Um,
haven't gone that way.
so triathlon clickbait takes click take baits. Lisa, what do you want to talk about? What's on your mind with the current state of sport that you're
What's grinding your gears?
What's grinding my gears? Well, I don't know if these things are really grinding my gears, but there are a couple of things that I was thinking about today that I think would be good talking points. Number one of my hot take clickbait takes, the clickbait takes. We're gonna nail that down
this name
eventually.
is going to stick one day.
The I think that the T100, the majority, or yeah, majority, so like over 50%, were unhappier last year compared to what they were in previous years. And I say that knowing a couple of the T100 contracted athletes personally, and also just reading some social media posts about people who might not have had the most like positive, or they just didn't seem like it was like such a positive experience or environment. But that's not to say like they were all harping about, oh my God, the T100, the PTO takes such good care of us at races with the hotels, with the mechanics, with like driving them around, picking up from airports, things like that. They
The
were all
activations were great too.
yeah, but I think by and large, like the racing structure and how few people were at the majority of the races and how alone most people felt while they were racing, that's a feedback I got a lot from, or I've like looked into a little bit more. We're saying that like it's just not a fun format to race. The way that it's set up right now, the lack of crowds and like
The
they are
energy.
the lack, yeah, exactly. The lack of energy. And you're back on the World Triathlon Circuit or the ITU circuit where you're in like a new country every like 4 weeks and you're with the same little group of people. And it's just exhausting because you never know what time of day it is. You never get that extended period at home. You're away from loved ones unless you're fortunate enough for them to like travel with you, which the majority of them, I don't know, maybe they'd make enough money and their spouses do. Like Kat Matthews and Mark Matthews. Mark goes to most of Kat's races, things like that. But I don't know. I just like the vibe I was getting is that most of the T100 athletes like weren't as happy competing in that format as they have been in the past.
I got the sense of that, but from who I spoke to, it seemed to be more so the athletes that came from the long course and went to T100 because essentially they gave up a bunch of their freedom for security in the contract, right? And for them, they're not used to going to every race, having the exact same people, kind of finishing in the same place. Also, the competition is significantly higher. So these are people who are used to showing up and winning races every time, and now they're finishing maybe just on their best day they're cracking the top 10, and they're not seeing the front of the race where they're used to racing for the front. And yeah, I think a lot of people too that like Ironman, you kind of like that adventure, right? Especially in a 70.3 or an Ironman, one loop course is like you're experiencing everything once and you're on an adventure, you know? Where this is more like head to head racing the whole time that you do see in that short course. I don't know, that's kind of what I got off of it.
Yes, the
Yeah.
stress, pressure, the microscope on every athlete, the buzz, the media. I think that adds a level of, I guess, just tension. And I guess also from what even Jackson's mentioned before, like everyone's staying at the same hotel, everyone sees each other at breakfast, lunch, dinner, everyone's around everyone. You never really get that personal just check out time. Like an Ironman, you're around the crowds. There's a lot of energy. There's people who recognize you. It makes you feel like special to be there and be a pro athlete at an Ironman event because like you're kind of representing what, what it looks like to really train really hard and, still walk sometimes. And it's all right. So, but either way, it just feels like as a viewer, the energy was definitely lacking, definitely. And I only went to one T100 race in person, and that was in Las Vegas. And I think probably with the age group races the day after, I did see a lot of triathletes watching, and there was decent energy, but it was not the same. But I know it's not for the lack of having great people in the commentary booth, the people who are running the show there. Like I think they're just as passionate. They're lovely people. And I think it's just as an organization. And Lisa, I'm sure you probably would agree, the leaders or those in charge of T100, they probably just don't feel like we feel. They don't know. They're maybe focused only on something else. What do you think?
No, I do think that, and I think just knowing a little bit about the different backgrounds some of the people who are in more of the leadership have come from, it's and maybe that's how every sport started. It was like more grassroots, where I feel like triathlon is still, we're kind of in our grassroots state. Like we like these neighborhood races and like us professional athletes, top high level competing athletes are forced into this high pressure situation that no one's really used to. Except Garrick made a good point about how I think it was harder on the long course athletes versus the short course athletes. They're used to that. They're used to like getting a phone call, 5 days before the race and saying, "Hey, you rolled onto this start list. Fly to Yokohama, Japan." They're used to that high stress atmosphere,
That's a
and so I
good
do
point
think
too.
yeah, so I do think that it's I also think that we're gonna see a shift that like the T100 is gonna be really not for long course athletes anymore. It's just gonna be a stepping stone for like an opportunity for those WTCS athletes to race. That's gonna be the next format.
Which,
We're already seeing that with
yeah.
Exactly.
their new, yeah, the new picks.
And
Yeah.
and that also means your second point, Lisa, which we've talked about this, I think, in the past episodes, but it's really chapping my ass, is the world rankings of our sport should not be managed and maintained and operated and set up by T100 now because it was the PTO, which is now T100.
Yes, 100% agree because so I don't think there's a way to do this that takes away all biases. Biases.
Bias is fine.
Yeah,
Biases, yeah.
biases. Um, but because I had said something about this on social media, and Matt Sharp made a good point. He's like, I feel like we can get to a day where like AI can take over. So hopefully, like we're
Ooh.
working towards
Let's
that. Like an
ask
A,
let's ask Chat GPT right now. Like, hey, could you
right?
please restructure the
I
athlete rankings?
I did that. Well, no, I didn't say that, but I said like, can you name like the top professional triathletes in the women's side? And it was like Lucy Charles and Chelsea Sodaro, and it like didn't talk anything about like the
100.
shorter course
Yeah,
athletes.
I've never even heard of those people.
Yeah. But I do think that it's because of these like tiered races, like the platinum or whatever diamond tier that every PTO race is or the T100 race is, it's just it's not a fair system. And I know the people like Jackson was on the board of people that helped come up with the new ranking system. I feel like there has to be a better ranking system. The PTO hosts the world rankings, and so obviously they are going to put more value behind the races that they own, the T100 series. So make it an outside organization, and
Yeah.
that has to happen.
And then yeah, we made a joke about this. Like, wasn't Thorsten Rad doing that like a long time ago? And then he got purchased and handled by the T100 PTO, and then they took it over. And now we're trying to get back to just grassroots, adding popsicle sticks together and seeing who won.
Also, because this is fresh top of my mind, the PTO is like, or the T100 is like putting out the top five rankings like day by day, end of the year rankings. And jelly beans. I like jelly beans is such a cool like
That's a good
nickname.
nickname.
It's such a good nickname. But on so he's ranked fourth in the world at the end of the year. And they put his top three races, like scored races for the T100, and like his T100 in Vegas, which he won, right? That was the race he won.
Yes.
Had a higher ranking than like him winning 70.3
20.3
world
world.
champs. And that just like blows, I don't know, that blows my mind. Maybe it was a higher competition, but I thought 70.3 worlds was such a fuller field. Granted, Martin Van Riel wasn't there. Some other people weren't there, but like I thought that was like a far better performance than the T100 Vegas. So
Yeah, the thing about the rankings is we kind of knew what was going to happen with the new series is they're self-perpetuating, right? So if you're in the series, you're almost going to stay in the series because the points are going to be valued so much more. But how, like, there's no way for them. I don't know how they would say, like, oh, this T100 series race is worth less than this race and this race, like if they tiered them like that. So,
Well, I think they could do the same level of prize purse for each ranking within that as one of the pillars, and then more strength of field focus because that kind of dictates how hard and stacked and deep the race was by strength of field. So maybe less weight on just the prize purse or the organization, whether it be Challenge, Ironman, or T100. Those are all going to be a category of like the still bronze tiers, gold tiers, whatever, based off prize money. But then maybe strength of field is just more valuable
yes.
in depth of that.
That's an awesome idea because what if like a whole bunch of amazing athletes, not saying this will happen, but like they all showed up to this amazing silver level tiered race. It should that should be weighted more, the
Yeah, and
strength
that
of
couldn't
field.
be over what 70 or something based off of
ah,
those current things.
I don't know if races should be allowed to like level up unless there's prize money there. I think you should kind of have an idea before the race what's going to happen, what the point outcome is going to be. And as a professional, that should be up to you, which is kind of what it is now. Like as a professional, it's up to you to make that decision. And then going back to kind of the ranking system, like anybody can make a world ranking system. It's easy to export results, make
Yeah.
a ranking system, weight it how you want to. It's just really the
Fair.
ranking system. Yeah, the ranking system only matters as much as we put weight towards it, right? So if someone is to make a ranking system, we all have to care about it. That's why the PTO rankings became such a big deal, is because we all cared about it because there's a
Mhm.
couple bucks behind it, right? Where Ironman has a chance right now with their series, they can develop
Make
a
their own
ranking.
ranking system.
They used to have a ranking system. Every
Yeah.
Yeah.
race had a certain number of points, and then you got ranked off that, and that's how you went to the worlds. And I think it's a shame that they left that system because I that seemed more fair to me. I know you could race a bunch and get more points,
Yeah.
but ultimately as a professional, you knew how many points you're going to get based on what position, because it was a P whatever race, and then
Yeah.
and then it was like, okay, well, I need to get this many points to get in. They could obviously cap it at your top if they wanted to, but yeah, that
Well,
also.
another hard point, though, within the sport is we're trying to deduce the most valuable athlete by ranking and number off of, a couple of day events. Like they're very hard to put, I guess, a system towards that can capture somebody's performance versus other people's performance on different courses against different people. So it's never probably going to be a very perfect system at its core due to the versatility of what we do. It's tough to measure it.
Right. I do think that, so obviously we don't know for sure what's happening with the PTO, but like my gut feeling is that it's just gonna like poof, not really exist. They don't really do much for athletes right now outside of the T100 contracted athletes. They provide the world ranking, but outside of that, like I I don't are they paying end of the year bonuses to the top 50 world ranked athletes this year?
I don't even know anymore what's happening.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know.
what's happening with that. I think here's my take on if T100 is going to stick around, it we need to accept that it's going to be a separate thing. There's going to be quite a bit of like short course people stepping up to it. Why don't they just fully embrace that, step into it, and it just follows the World Triathlon Series?
Mhm.
It's
And then
part
you're
of it.
capturing, yeah, so then you have the venues, you have the courses, you have the fans like all there, and you just make these bigger events, and you have and expand the fields to 30 athletes too as well. But that's just you have your short course draft legal race, and then the next day you have your non-drafting T100
100
mid
race.
distance race. Yeah.
I think that's where we have an opportunity here to make the real triathlon championship. All right. And it'll be a 3 day event where athletes are going to be doing time trials. They're going to be doing sprint races, mixed relays, and a one long course day. And then we're going to figure out who has the best endurance athlete against all combined points over all the races.
Oh,
Do
you know
you
what I
know how
just thought about?
fun
So
that would be?
I think that someone came up with that. I think it's called Super League or something similar to that.
Island
Which,
House.
which, by the way, most exciting racing is Super League. Like hands down,
Yeah.
nothing competes with it.
Most
Just like
exciting stuff that nobody watches or really
yeah,
knows about.
their enduro format where they swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run 3 times, the best. Um, oh, now I lost my train of thought here.
You got stoked about everything I just said about it probably being
Yeah,
the
I
best
know.
idea.
Here's a good idea. When the athletes are out on the bike for T100, the short course guys do a mixed team relay. So we're watching that. And then we tune in every once in a while, and then when they get off the bike, they're done the mixed team relay. We watched that. That was exciting. And now they're on doing a running race, which the T100 awful run courses. They have no idea how to make a run course.
Ooh, that's
It blows
bold.
my mind. It
Yeah.
bugs
You're
me every time.
so you could do better. If they hired you, you'd be like, I got this better. Got it.
Yeah. Quit putting them on run paths and using those stupid round pylons and stuff. Like
Ooh.
it looks so cheap. It looks so bad. I can't think of a good run course that they've done.
Like you want like cross country
Maybe
them to like spike up cross country course, like run
no,
over
like
hills, over hay barrels.
make it look professional. That's all I'm saying is I don't want to watch so if this is supposed to be this multi-million dollar live TV coverage, why are they running on a sidewalk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Why
Like
are they
I
saying they
like
should
jumping
have a red
curbs?
carpet the whole time.
Or
I
at least put it on a main road. Like
yeah.
WTS looks professional. It looks good, like loop it back on the bike course. You can do that. It's fine. Like it doesn't have to be a separate course.
But part of it not looking professional, do you think is that like there's just not enough athletes to fill out the road? Because I think of like the New York City Marathon when you have like hundreds of thousands of people like running down the middle of New York City. Like that's like a
Like
such a
40,000
cool
people, Lisa. Okay.
hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
No, what I think is not so much the athlete themselves running, it's, everything around them. It's the infrastructure and the crowds around them. Like how cool does it look when someone's finishing the Olympics and there's grandstands on both sides filled with people, right?
Yeah.
Or track, like it's in a massive stadium. But at least have like enough put it somewhere where there's like a density of people. So if the bike's going through there, think about Milwaukee. The best when they did the US Open or whatever,
That was
the
pretty good.
best part, the most professional looking part of the run and the bike course was when there was huge crowds, right?
Yeah.
And when they ran there, but then they would leave and they would go run on a bike path, and there's literally guys standing on the same bike path that they're running on fishing. It's
Can't
like,
close
That is
it.
a good
Can't
point.
kick off the fishermen, the anglers.
I
yeah,
think
like
I think we should just put the run on a track, have them run 18 kilometers around a track because then nobody can hide. There's no athletes are going to be complain about being lonely on the race course or like racing alone. We're going to see so many people walking. We're going to see lots of people lapped. Like it'd be epic.
It
And
would be.
you have to run at least 4 opposing laps to your starting lap direction every 5th lap to try, because it's bad on your ankles. So you got to be careful. Can't
How's
be
this?
running one direction.
And then every 4 laps, you have to do burpees
Yes.
or yeah.
So
Or
Joe
a
Skipper
weighted
will get high
carry
rocks.
or great point.
So that's, I think we can all agree. Either they just have the T100 WTCS like rankings, and then Ironman has their Pro Series rankings, and then Challenge has their rankings, which are probably arbitrary. And I don't know if anyone's ever talked about them.
I didn't even know they did rankings. I just knew they had like end of the series,
End
end
of
of
year
the year,
payout,
like
which is
yeah.
based off of points, cumulative points throughout the Challenge Series, which is also awesome that nobody, I don't know why nobody talks about Challenge. They're great.
I know. They're
Because we
so
live
good
in
at
North
putting on events.
America. We live
I
in North
know.
America, and there are like what one challenge race in Canada too
Quebec.
that we can do. I've
Quebec
never
City and
done a challenge
Montreal.
race. I've done a
Dude,
class race back when that was a thing.
the challenge races are great. I've only done one, but like they're so well organized and like the communication among the pros, like you feel like they want you there racing. And
Yeah.
like they tell you where the pro briefing is. They don't hide it in some obscure place.
It is Where's Waldo on any Ironman. You're like, where's the volunteers, and then where's the porta potties? We're having a briefing next to that.
I remember I had to borrow a bike from somebody. Oh my God, I can't remember. So he's one of the announcers at Ironman when we were in 70.3 like New Hampshire or something, Timberman. And like the pro briefing was like nowhere near the expo. And I was like, where's the pro briefing? They're like, oh, it's a mile up the road. I was like,
What?
I had to like borrow a bike and like get my way there.
We put a geological pinpoint on the briefing so that we emailed you. We don't know the name of it, but we gave you the latitude and longitude.
Yeah. Can I just side point? I love pro briefings. Like I love because I I just mostly because I love to see like everyone there. Like the at 70.3 Worlds, I loved the pro briefing. It was like it was just like a blast.
I
And they
just
were
like
like
to
a
see
bunch of
how weird everybody really is. Like triathletes,
yeah,
we're all just so weird.
yeah.
Well, and it's
Some
funny
people are
because we all
sitting up and
think
standing down 3
everyone else is
times
weird.
with OCD. Sorry, Garrett, go ahead.
So we all think like it's funny that you say that because we all think everyone else is weird. Like everyone thinks everyone else is weird
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But you're like,
But is there one person like in the professional triathlon world that we're like can all agree on that we're like, oh, that person's they're pretty normal. They're pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
anyone with a perm, any male with a perm.
yeah, that is true.
This is natural. I've just been waiting I've been straightening my hair for
I
years.
just, it's funny though, like going to the long course briefings, like the Ironman briefings and stuff, because there's a lot of guys that are just dressed like normal people, and then you got kind of your nerds. Like there's a
Ooh.
decent like variety, but then if you go to like an ITU briefing, everyone looks the same. Everyone's wearing their high cycling socks and their little tracksuit jacket, and like
Yeah,
everyone
everything's
is
sponsor
they're all dressed the
generated.
same. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all.
Yeah, Iron Man, I think I've seen people show up with like flip-flops, beach shorts, and a wife beater. And then randomly Eric Lagerstrom's got like a wife or a tank top on that has like all his logos on it. Like he's written in with a Sharpie. You're like, all right, that's fair. That's very California vibe or Bend, Oregon vibe. I like it, man. It's all
Weird.
like, how can I be casual but also still represent the people that pay me?
Yeah.
I'm just
Here's
trying
a
to think of
clickbait take. I think we should all have to wear suits to the briefing.
Oh,
no,
what? You
you
remember Oceanside? I wore a sport coat and everyone looked at me like I was fucking Unabomber. Like I was
yeah.
crazy. Like a nice fucking suit, Nick. Like, and Paula Newby Fraser was the only one who was like, boy, you are classy. Like they were just loving it. All the Ironman staff and everyone else was like, what the, and even Tamara ripped me a new one. She's like, I just don't think that level of dress is appropriate for the sport. She ripped me a new one. I was like, what? She's like, I like feeling like I can show up in my casual wear. I'm like, I wasn't telling everyone they had to wear this. She got on me about it.
Jeez, you can never be overdressed. That's one rule. You can never be overdressed.
I don't know. We were talking about we're just planning this wedding for the summer, and we were talking about what the dress code's gonna be, and like we just
Beach
it's gonna
cash,
be whatever you want. Sweatpants in,
whatever you would wear,
tropical top in, like
whatever
no
you would
shirt,
wear to a dog
awesome.
park.
Exactly.
Well,
The dog park will be
I
there.
think I
The
think the
dog
trick is to just not give like a dress code, and then
and see what
people
happens.
people will wear what they feel appropriate. Like people have wedding attire. Like
You have
if
to
you have
put
a
something.
location, if you have a location
Casual.
and and you invite guests, there's always that guy that's gonna show up in shorts. Doesn't matter.
Sunday afternoon casual is
No,
the
it should be schmizmish smasual. Like people are gonna be like, "What is that?" But like, I think it's business casual, or way
and
more
res
relaxed.
and respect respond to nobody when they ask you what to wear. Nothing.
Avoid that question completely.
No one, no one's gonna ask the bride what to wear. Like they know not to bug her.
I'm gonna tell everyone to wear white.
Yeah, dress code white everything's.
White everything. Uh,
Um, Lisa, you also think that the Ironman Pro Series, as it stands, will just burn out these athletes.
yeah, I do. Because I think 3 Ironmans in a year is not something that people can do year after year after year unless you're Matt Hansen.
Bro,
Um,
I disagree. I let you say your point, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you've
disagree
never
with you.
done an Ironman, Lisa,
I
besides
haven't.
a bike half, almost the bike.
Yeah, I did like 68 miles of one. So like almost the half Ironman. Um, but so hear what I said. I don't think doing like multiple Ironmans is like healthy for you. I don't think running marathons, like multiple
Oh,
marathons
actually
in a year
healthy.
is like healthy. Like I think you're like liver enzymes and you're like you get um oh my God, rhabdomyolysis and organ shutdown and things like that. So I just don't think it's like to ask people to do 3 full Ironmans in a year. And in the pro schedule, they're kind of all close together and like
But it's
March to
like realistically, if you're gonna have a shot at the series, it's 2 Ironmans and Worlds
yeah.
over 12 months. So
It's
you
not
can.
that bad, Lisa.
But it's not it's like March to November. So it's
I
not
just
12
think it's the
months.
dates. I
Like
think the
9.
dates are not ideal. Like maybe they
Yeah.
need to shift the season to where it's like starts in
January?
August and ends in July or something. That way you get like a couple races, a little off season, more races, and a finale. Like Formula One does that shit.
Like over
Like
a year?
Yeah, like you would have like July or August, September, October, November to get some racing done. Then you would have a holiday break for like maybe 2 months, and then you
Yeah.
would pick back up racing again. Like, if anything, that makes more opportunity. It condenses it all down. It's more to talk about, more drama rather than a full year. We get 6 months. No, I'm just kidding. We should still space it out over a year, but I
but
think it just kind of
yeah,
breaks the season in half and allows for a lot more speculation and drama.
I think the thing is, it's like if you want to space out, you have to travel so much. Like it's so expensive. Last
That's the
Yeah.
year
worst.
we broke down the price and I was like, wow, this is so expensive. I ended up spending more than that on travel, so I should have just done it anyways. Um but if like not everyone has to do it like Jack does. You don't have to do them back to back weekends. You
Or
can
Colin,
spread it
for
out.
frig's
Oh yeah,
sake.
Colin.
I don't even, I can't even
He's
wait.
racing every like weekend starting
Yeah.
in
New Zealand, South Africa, Texas, and I think he said Oceanside and by all
and St.
means St.
George.
George every
Yeah.
pro race.
Yeah.
He's
He
gonna
did
Danielle
like
Lewis this shit.
I know, but Danielle took like that's like the beginning of her season, but then she like pieced out for a solid, I don't
two or
know
three
how long.
months.
Yeah. And then like
So
even after full Ironman Worlds in Nice, she
yeah.
pieced out till December.
I think this is doable for like a full-time athlete and like like an Ironman specialist. I think the issue doesn't lie so much in the full distance as it does in the 70.3s, trying to fit those in. But kind of when I'm listening to Lisa, what I'm reading between the lines here is what she's saying is that this series is only for Ironman athletes. 70.3 athletes have nothing because now they lost the T100, which we knew they was going in that direction. We all knew it. last year.
Yeah.
But now, we have the Ironman series, and that's for
What's there for
Ironman. There's
everyone
nothing for
else?
70.3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's what I'm reading.
so at 70.3 Worlds, I got the chance to talk with Scott Deroux, Ironman CEO, a little bit, and I voiced my opinions about, hi, let's bring back a 70.3 series and mix it with like the Olympic, non-draft Olympics. Bring back the 5150 series and make it a pro series. Put it out there. He
Dude,
didn't like
5150
smack it
coming back.
down.
If you can get that in his ear, like 5150, 5150, 5150. Bring it back. Like they don't even have to be big prize purses, like just local
No.
athletes. So that way just like regional pros can race it. Because in every region there's like a big pro. There's a 5150 race in Guelph. Could you imagine how competitive that would be if they put up like 5 grand in prize money?
Yeah, like 10K.
Be like a
15.
gold tier race. It's everyone that lives there.
But also, I think Ironman's problem, one of their problems, I don't know this for sure, but I've heard this in the past, is that they have a lot of one-timers. People who do an Ironman and they're like one and done.
Mhm.
I'm never doing a triathlon again. But like like Leadville series, they sell this package, and it's like they get to do a 100-mile mountain bike, a 100-mile run, the trail marathon run, a 50-mile mountain bike, and like I don't know, like a 10K run or something. And they say like this costs $1,500. Iron Man should do that. They should say, hey, for like 2 grand, you're gonna get an Iron Man, a 70.3, and two 5150s that you get to complete in
Or
like 12
Ironman
months.
owns Ironman owns a lot of half marathons also, and they also own UTMB now.
Yeah, package things together so you can hook people so it's not just like an Iron Man one and done. Buy the package, like build your way up, like keep people in the sport, keep people in the brand. This is
That's a
like a
good one.
billion-dollar idea. Scott Drew, listen to me. Smart.
He would do it. I bet Scotty's probably like, how can I make another bill? We got to make those bills come in.
Yeah,
There are like, I mean, yeah, there are a ton of 5150 races, but you don't hear about them anymore because there's no pro races for them.
Right.
I never even heard of one since like 7 years ago. I feel like 5150 was just like, I don't even know what that distance really is. I don't know what
Yeah.
happens to equal 5150.
Is it? I don't know what 5150 stands for, but isn't it just an Olympic distance?
It's an Olympic
Non-track?
distance, yeah. It stands for something.
But
It
I
is
think
the distance, but I don't know if it's in miles or kilometers. It's 51.5 something.
I think it's like,
Huh.
I think it's a mixture of both ecosystems.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
no, it's 51.5 kilometers because 1500 swim plus 40K bike plus
Plus
10K
10K.
run. Yeah.
Ah,
okay,
there we go.
damn it. Cause I was going to say, it's like a 1.2 mile or kilometer swim and then an 18 mile, but then a 16-kilometer bike. Like it's a mixture.
Also, okay, I've thought of this because obviously cycling is my strength and we all have our different strengths. Like what if triathlon
Lisa,
was
dancing is your
different?
strength.
What if it was different than it is now? Like what if like the first people who made up triathlon were like, you know what, we're gonna do a 200-meter swim, we're gonna do like an 80-mile bike, and we're gonna run 5K. Like
Lisa,
the
no.
I would be so much better at that? But like
What,
I'm saying,
why? It's like saying, why is a rainbow good? Or how's
oh
posi
right,
track on a Plymouth work? It just does. It's swim, bike, run, Lisa. That's the way it
swim,
is.
bike, run in like so many different formats. Also, you were talking about this like weekend of like we'll do time trials, we'll do mixed team relays, that you were talking about. And I literally just thought about like doing a triathlon festival weekend with all the pros. And it's like you have all the long distance pros, no more for the short course stuff. And you have like a time trial. You're gonna have teams of people, Team USA, swim, bike, run, team whatever. I don't know. Just there's so many different things you can do. It would be so fun.
And at the very last 3 days, we all have to play Married at First Sight. Like that's the culmination. Like we're gonna do all this stuff. You get to know each other. Then we're playing Married with First Sight.
And
Oh,
TLC will pick it up instantly.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. And then we'll do Extreme Home Makeover for the contestant who wins. So we'll make it on the Hallmark
I
channel.
just I feel like there's so many ways that we can monetize
Yeah, but we're
triathlon.
still like the biggest thing for me, okay? And this is because I have to work with a lot of industry folks is we're not that big of a deal. Go to like an
No.
airport and no one gives a shit about anything you. I think that's the ultimate level of like give a shit. If you
Yeah.
can go to an airport and have anybody be like,
Recognize you.
"Whoa, like I know you from that commercial that was on outside TV." I think it was kind of
Uh,
glitchy, but either way, like
but then, that's the thing is triathletes, like we might be famous. There are famous triathletes in the triathlon world, but like nobody, like you said, nobody, there's no triathlon that like a normal person that hasn't done triathlon or doesn't know someone involved in triathlon would like walk up to Taylor Nibb and be like, holy shit, it's Taylor Nibb. I know you. It's
they'll be
not
like,
like
I saw you
Michael
on.
Jordan,
They'll be like, I
even though
saw you
she's
on
like,
Barstool.
what?
They'll be like, I saw you on that clip of you on Barstool.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, but anyways, back to my small, dig at all of us is like I know we really want this sport to be big. It's really transformative. It is a way that people can change their lives around. It's like it's more than just a race, and I think we live that and we embody that lifestyle. I think that's what we're passionate about. That's what we want companies and everyone to recognize that hard work and dedication you have to take it seriously. And I feel like these race organizations don't take it very warm-heartedly in terms of the growth, what these athletes, me included, are putting into the sport to make it better. And it feels like sometimes they're just looking to monetize on all that work that we're doing to try to make this such a valuable lifestyle. So that's really where I think all this stems from, and why we really want to see this humble and optimistic growth.
Yeah.
Write that down on my headstone.
There you go. I mean, ultimately, we're only worth as much as we can sell.
I'm about to get on OnlyFans triathlon and get after it.
So I'm on TikTok, like big fan of TikTok
Oh,
scroll,
girl, you on
like
TikTok?
mindless scrolling. And there's like I keep getting these TikToks about like OnlyFan girls that like make millions of dollars a
That's
year.
over though. That's got to be over.
No, there's
But
something called like the Bop House, and it's just like a bunch of like OnlyFan girls that like post TikToks. I'm sure they do their OnlyFans. I've never been on that OnlyFans platform. I don't know what
but
it's about. I know what it's about. I can assume what it's about, but they
So
make millions.
OnlyFans is crazy because it didn't start off that way, but like
Yeah,
everything just always turns into porn. So that's the thing about triathlon is we got to watch out, guys, because if
it's
we
gonna go.
don't, it's gonna turn into porn.
yeah, these new lifestyles and these new trends are coming up that are going to make you faster. It might be like, oh yeah, weekend orgies are going to do the trick for you.
Yeah. But the thing about OnlyFans is like, it's like social media. Only like the top 1% really make
Yeah,
it, and they really
Yeah,
make it.
yeah.
And
like
if
the
you don't
NBA.
make it, then like,
If
your
you don't
shit's
make
just
it,
out there.
if you don't
Your
make
shit's
it,
just out
you're on
there.
you're on page 16. Like there's
Like,
there's like the top three pages of whatever you're looking at within those circumstances of entertainment.
yeah,
And
you're better off going to the sauna naked.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh man, if you didn't make it, you're on
true.
page 8, and no one
Yeah.
Oh
ever goes to
man.
page 8.
Exactly.
Much less page 2. Let's be honest.
I feel so bad about myself if I was like, I'm going to OnlyFans. That's what I'm doing. And it's just like,
They seem to like love their lives and lifestyle though. I mean, they must be like, all right, this is what I was born to do. I knew it.
yeah. I mean, I don't know what freaking algorithm I'm on, but a whole bunch of weird things are popping up.
Lisa, okay, when any woman starts to put some dance moves to some bathing suits on social media, it's just like a recipe,
Hey,
like alarms go off on all the algorithms.
I'm trying to teach Mark when we were in New Zealand, and I was trying to get him into dance, and he said no. And then I said, I'm putting on a swimsuit and to do my dance. And he's like, why? I'm like, why do you think, Mark? No, that's actually a true story. So I'm gonna go put on a swimsuit to do that.
That it is true. So those who are listening right now on the podcast, who are listening to the podcast, go to the YouTube channel. She's wearing her swimsuit right now.
Yeah. And in order to get her window to
Like
open, you got to donate $1.
to the Patreon page.
Yeah.
It's a monthly subscribe dollar.
All right. I think that's pretty much all the click hot baits today. And I think that was pretty much a great episode in general. Now, personally, I'm excited for camp, which starts next week. We're all going to be able to finally get together again and have a good time. Of course, I'll be losing my hair because I'll be so stressed because of everyone's lives, and preventing all the diarrhea and vomit is going to be my number one priority for those. We had like 3 people get some sort of foodborne illness for a few days last year, so I have to do a better ratio this year. It's my only thing. If I can walk away with that and nobody self crashes themselves, like everyone just be crashing on their own, just like, oh, I just was riding, oh, crashed. I don't know, didn't hit anybody. It's totally good weather. I don't know.
Oh,
Lisa
it's
Lisa
so
rode into the bushes last year, wasn't it?
Lisa crashed me
No,
out last
I
year.
wrote it
That's
to
what
it.
happened.
It was like at like 2 miles an hour. There's like a wind gust.
So
How did
those who
how did it
don't
get done?
know, like Cozumel is one flat road with a right hand turn, like a single right hand turn,
Kind of
and
four.
somehow, I don't. Almost everyone crashed. I think I didn't crash. Jack crashed.
Jack
I
crashed?
He
Yeah, he
got crashed
crashed.
into.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
but
that
he
was
didn't
it.
fall. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You guys all crashed. Brian
Carter
didn't
crashed.
crash.
I
Yeah.
was crashed into. Fair,
Yeah.
fair.
And who crashed before we even arrived for camp? And
Rachel
Rachel?
Mensch.
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
Rachel.
Her poor hand. She just destroyed her hand, and all it took was like a second, and your hands are sweaty, and it was a windy day. I mean, it's like the level of focus. I think we just end up losing when we are on a straight, easy route. We're like, oh, I can just chill. There's no iguanas jumping out in the middle of the road.
Did you
that is a problem.
you
That
were
they were.
behind, right? I rode over freaking
I
iguana.
know. I
These
remember
things
you
are like
just
that thick in
you
this.
chunked it.
Yeah. I'm taking my road bike this year though.
Me too.
I'm bringing
Yeah.
my TT bike. It's not sponsor correct, my road bike, and I haven't ridden it in over a year.
Well,
So
got to get that content grab.
I know exactly. Got a new TT bike, and the first 2 rides I've ridden it has been on the trainer. It's like crushes my soul.
Oh,
But
Well, have
yeah.
you
that's the best
snowy
place to
though?
ride.
No, no, it's not. Everything hurts. We'll do another podcast about the cons of riding on the indoor trainer and how bad it is
And
for
the
you.
pros of it also.
Yeah. If you can do a 6 hour ride on the trainer with like hour long Ironman intervals, you can make it through anything.
You can get
Yeah.
married, you can have kids, you can do all that stuff. 6 hours on a trainer, you're invincible.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to do that. I don't know if I want to do those things, you know?
Oh yeah, Lisa, congrats on being engaged while you were in New
Thank
Zealand.
you. Thank you. It was a big deal.
So we weren't going to say it, but really, like, if you want to be on the podcast, you have to have been engaged or married at least once.
At least once. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm in.
That's why you're in now.
Finally
I'll go
happened.
with Steve downstairs. Yeah. I'm in.
That for real, Lisa,
There's-
we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Excited to help those podcast reviews just sky
Plummet.
That's it.
sky plummet.
Speaking of, reviews and feedback, so last time we put it out there, we got some great feedback, some really in-depth feedback. And if we could get more of that, guys, so we can start, building a trend to see what you guys like, what you don't like, why you're listening to other stuff, like, we would like to hear it.
We've been
So,
doing this for
let us
3
know.
years and we're just finally like putting that out there.
We've put it out there, but like our feedback has always been like one line, one
No,
word
wait.
here. It's like,
Great.
Yeah,
Awful.
4 years. Jeez.
yeah, 2020. We started this in 2020.
And we've
Also-
just now gotten to the point where we're like, yeah, we would love to hear what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, tell us what we're doing, and we'll tell us what you don't like about it, and we'll tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
And we do have a Patreon page on our YouTube. So if you are if you're a new subscriber in the next 2 weeks, we will send you a water bottle. Continental USA only, because I don't know how to ship internationally.
It's all right. I'll build that into the budget, Lisa. You just keep and anything you want, and I'll make sure we do it. Look at the bottles. Look how blue they are.
Purist, guys, you want one of these. So if you subscribe to our Patreon page, support us, you'll get a free water bottle in the next 2 weeks.
And it could be, I mean, $2 a month is like is
Cup of
there.
coffee.
That's an option. Not
Yeah.
$1 because we don't want you to feel like bad about it. $2, I don't think you can feel bad about.
Yeah, $2.
That's less than a water bottle. And we have, of all the triathlon podcasts, we have the best water bottle.
We do.
Yeah.
Best
Tested.
hair.
Yep.
And best hair. We're all coming to camp next week with a perm.
I'm
Surprise to you.
I don't have enough hair for a perm.
Garrick. Trust me, you can perm anything.
Just a little like.
All right. This is great. Good 2025 ahead of us. Thanks. Next time we'll have Jackson's butthole on here.
Just his butthole.
I mean, he is a butthole. Is what I was.
That will do great on our OnlyFans.
Oh God, how did I mucked that up?
Well, we
And
can't wait
on
to have a fun 2025 with you all.
On that bombshell, peace. Oh.
Ow.